Oh man, so Bitcoin is holding the daily candle here green, almost up 1%. Phantom is down slightly, about 0.75% today, but we've had a phenomenal week here on crypto. You remember last week on Sunday when I make my weekly update videos looking ahead to the week, we said that the grass was looking green, right? We've had our FOMC meeting, the FUD is out the way, the uncertainty is out the way, and now the gates are open for investors to say, hang on, let's turn risk on. And we've seen markets rally. We've had a second strong week here on the NASDAQ, on the QQQ, and now we've seen Bitcoin responding as well. In this video, I'm going to show you not only what key levels we need to look out for Bitcoin, but also on Phantom, because the one sour note is that Phantom continues to hang at the bottom of its bear flag which it's forming. But I'm going to show you a way in which we could get out of this. We're also going to look at some positive on-chain metrics for Phantom, so make sure you stay tuned till the very end. Make sure you hit up the like button, make sure you subscribe. As always, these videos are brought to you by me. Yes, we have now started, by popular demand, our member live streams. If you want to become a member where you can join our live streams, we've got our first live stream in a couple of hours from now. We've got members joining in from New Zealand, from Canada, from South Africa, and various other countries. So if you want to become a member, click the pinned comment below, head over into the Discord, and you'll find out how you can become a member, and you'll be able to join our live streams, you'll be able to ask questions, you'll be able to do some tokenomics research on your favorite tokens, do some TA analysis, critique your portfolio, answer any other questions you have just for members. So consider doing that. Look at this on Bitcoin, guys. This is a really, really strong week. And you can see this red line. This is when the week started on Monday. Just candle after candle of green. And this is the action we wanted to see. We had the FOMC meeting here, where my cursor is. And then you can see that the market got the direction it needed. We've not had a rally like this for quite a while. But more importantly, we are now getting to a crux position. This is the 45.5 level. You can see we've got rejected multiple times. We were getting rejected in these candles. If you zoom into these candles on the hourlies, you can see we were facing some resistance here, particularly on the 25th of March, but we've managed to accumulate 2 green candles here over the weekend, Saturday and today, Sunday, which is showing that we're trying to break through this 44.5 level and stay above it. And the consequence of that is really good, because the technical target from breaking out this pattern to the upside is 52,700. So that is what we're looking at from here, but also it's going to take the wider market with it. And here is the sign, because if I head over to the weekly, just get a clean chart here for Bitcoin. What you can see here on the weekly chart is this candle, which is closing in 7 hours, guys. In just 7 hours, this green candle, which is closing. If we can close above this EMA ribbon, let's just get nice and zoomed in here. Closing above this EMA ribbon, which was trying to flip to the downside, will now mean that we can flip our EMA bullish, we can close the green candle above it, and we can start our next move to the upside. Okay, so this is very big news here on Bitcoin. We've not been bullish on our EMA ribbon. Technically, we started to penetrate the EMA ribbon all the way back in November, but really we closed below it in January, and we've been below it for the whole quarter of 2022. Okay, so this is a good sign and could set us up for a big Q2 here on crypto. It's definitely something we want to look out for, not just on crypto, but on stocks in general. Now, what else are we seeing? Well, in the economy, we've got a few key pieces of data coming out. On Tuesday, we have the JOLTS figure. Okay, so if I just show you here, we will have the JOLTS figure coming out of the United States, and that figure is going to tell us how many job openings there are. Again, another indication of how healthy the economy is. But Friday is the big day this week, because on Friday, what we're going to receive is we're going to receive the non-farm payrolls. Okay, so that's definitely what we're looking out for here from the States, is the non-farm payrolls. That's this one here at 12:30 from the States. That's going to give us an indication of how healthy the job market is, and will give us a clue of whether we're going to see a double rate hike or a single rate hike in the May meeting for the FOMC. But as I covered off in the video the other day, the market doesn't seem too bothered. And this is what's brilliant about this market right now, is 2/3 of market, well, 3/4 almost of market participants, based on the CME futures, have priced in a double rate hike already. So there's not much. They're almost saying, come on, Jerome Powell, what have you got? Like, do a double rate hike. We don't care. They're calling his bluff to say, do it. We've already priced it in. So this is really interesting from what we're seeing. Fear and greed index is now sitting comfortably in neutral territory, sitting at 49 here on a Sunday. It was 51 yesterday. The market is nicely poised. As long as Bitcoin sits around this level, the market is pretty comfortable. It's a lot of common sense, right? At this point here at 44, The only people you've got in losses are those that were chasing the green candles as Bitcoin was pumping. And so the average investor base their portfolio tends to be okay. Not many people are super upside down right now, and they're feeling pretty comfortable in their portfolio. So Fear and Greed Index naturally reflects that. Now let's take a look at the Phantom chart. Because on the Phantom chart, from a weekly perspective, we're not yet close to flipping our EMA ribbon, okay? So to close our EMA ribbon, you're looking at a weekly close above about 175. Now, we know that can move quickly. If Bitcoin breaks beyond 44.5 at that key level and starts working its way to 52,000, then we know Phantom will respond and start working its way to 165 and then 194, and we'll get a close above our weekly candle. That's not going to be a problem here on Phantom. But if we do head over into the hourly, which is the complete opposite time frame, what we can see is that in our continuation pattern, which unfortunately is a bear flag pattern, we have started to fall below the trend line. Okay, so you can see this trend line, which we've been respecting for a while here, in this continuation pattern, moving nicely to the upside. But we just fell out of it a couple of hours ago. Now, since then, we've seen a couple of candles taking us back to the line. But we just want to make sure that this is not a retest to the downward side, right? We don't want to see this pattern. We need to get back into our continuation pattern and start working our way to the upside. And we're going to need Bitcoin to help us do that. Because unfortunately, this is a bear flag, right? The technicals suggest this is a bear flag. But hopefully, Bitcoin and the wider market can pull the altcoins along with it, because what we don't want to see is a move, consolidation, and a move to the downside. Now, the saving grace is this, and this is what should give you hope from a technical perspective, is when you get these continuation patterns, the way the market psychology works is it wants to show you that it's going one direction and then go the other direction. We know that, right? That's a basic phenomenon of investing and trading. The market movers want to trick market participants, right, and get them liquidated. Now, let's use this as an example. This is a continuation pattern. We moved to the downside. We entered a consolidation period, and we were right at the top of the wedge, right? So, you know, you're feeling good here. You're not worried about breaking to the downside of the wedge if you imagine you're at the top here. But then suddenly it takes you down. It liquidates the eager longs, and that gives this momentum, big moves to the downside all the way to the bottom of the wedge, right? Now, the opposite could be happening here. We could be baiting in the short sellers to say, oh, we're going to break down from this wedge and continue in a continuation pattern to the downside to about here. And then it could liquidate them and move quickly to the upside as Bitcoin moves to the upside as well. So that's the scenario I'm looking to play out for here on Phantom. Now, just a few other fundamental pieces to cover off here on this Sunday. Did you know Phantom saved you $350 million last month on gas fees? When you put it like that, just reminds you how unfit for purpose Ethereum is, and yet it's still the leader, right? So it just goes to show you how amazing this opportunity is to invest in solid layer one solutions. So what all they did was they took the average cost of gas fees, which tends to be about $12, and they run that across 31.3 million transactions, and you get an idea of how much something like Phantom is saving you with an average gas cost of just 20 cents. Huge difference. Once people start using Phantom and the network, they realize that Ethereum is just not fit for purpose. But this is something we know. Ethereum know it. They're working on 2.0. And this is why we're going to see a battle for all these layer one solutions to attract the best dApps to be the best layer one solution, right? And it's good. It's really healthy for the ecosystem, and it's really healthy for crypto. Now, another interesting stat, shout out to Phantom News on Twitter for sharing this, is this chart here. Now, I'm just going to move me to the top so we can see the latest bars forming. But ever since the 3rd of March all the way to the 25th of March, net outflows of Bitcoin were greater than the deposits, okay? So money was moving out of total value locked, which was a concern. Now we know this is due to Andre Cronje. A bunch of projects included Solidly will skew these data massively because loads of TVL was leaking out of those platforms. But the thing I did wanted to show you was this one. Because on the 26th of March, it was the first day where the deposits were greater than the withdrawals. So maybe this is a clue that we've started to bottom out. A lot of that fear and that weak hand money, which was just, which was panic sold by Andre Cronje and his exit, maybe that has started to settle and we could start seeing more deposits starting to come in as TVL has started to bottom out here on Phantom. So hopefully that could be the bottom. If we head over to Phantom here on DeFi Llama, we can look at the total value metrics. And what you'll see, this is the Andre Cronje, boom, peak to the downside. Are we now creating our floor here? Are we saying this 6.4 level roughly of total value locked is as low as we're going to get? And now can we start building slowly but steadily in this direction back to the levels where we're at as high as 12 billion in total value locked? Can we start start doing that work again. Now, it's unfortunate that we have to go through that process again, but it's something that has to be done. We've spoken about the Andre Cronje issue at length. If you want my views on those, check my videos out. I've made a bunch of videos on the Andre Cronje issue. I've even covered off what Michael Kong has had to say about it. So definitely check out those videos there. But overall, really strong week on crypto. And I think there's a lot of reasons to feel really positive about this market. Yes, there's going to become a time when we need to be cautious because we don't like too much fear in the market. And I can see a situation where that greed starts to come in the market very quickly. So I'm poised to make my moves based on that. That's something I'm thinking about very aggressively right now, is I don't want to get caught up in FOMO. Our time to buy was when there was sheer red in the market, and we made videos and we spoke about how we were buying. But now with my course members tonight, one of the things we're going to be talking about in depth, how do we avoid this FOMO? How do we make sure that we navigate through this, what's going to be, in my opinion, probably a couple of weeks of green and rally, which could easily catch you up in terms of buying at silly prices and getting yourselves in some pickles. So that's definitely what we're going to be covering off. What I'll suggest you do, guys, is go and watch the one rule. I'm going to link up that video at the end of this video. Go watch that. That's the one crypto rule you're going to need. If you have that rule, you're going to be okay in crypto. You're going to build sustainable wealth in crypto. So make sure you go check that video out. As always, smash up the likes and subscribe. Check out the pinned comment below. Want to become a member of our member live streams. Okay, guys, check that out. See you in the next one.